Hello viewers, this is Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your support. Also a note to any Trump supporters, this isn't a channel for you because we don't support what Trump has done, so you can keep going. But for my viewers, my regular viewers, my new viewers, those that have just subscribed, those who are thinking about subscribing and are watching this, thank you again for your support. Now, today I want to tackle two or three matters. We'll start with Trump's taxes, which of course he's digging in and refusing to give up. His Chief of Staff, Mick Mulvaney, has come out and said the Democrats will never get the tax returns. What's the big deal here? What is the big deal? So let's have a look at that. Cohen and his lawyer have released a 12-page letter to Congress, or have sent a letter to Congress detailing Cohen has further evidence to offer Congress in relation to Trump. He has something like 14 million files on his hard drive consisting of voice memos, emails, recordings, etc., which he says will help the Democrats in their investigation. Now, we know that Cohen's wanting to avoid jail. We know that because the letter actually states that. They say that if Cohen were to help Congress, then he would be best served doing that if he was not in jail. So we know, we've heard what Cohen has to say, and there will be more explosive evidence potentially in there, which is not good for Trump. I do feel that when Cohen and his lawyer released that, in some way it was in response to what the Attorney General had done in putting forward his summary, potentially saying that Trump didn't collude, and as far as the Attorney General was concerned, there wasn't an obstruction issue there. Now, we don't know the details. That's yet to come. The Democrats are fighting hard. Barr has promised that with, a redacted copy before mid-April. However, when I tuned into what Cohen was doing and his strategy, yes, it was to avoid jail, but it was also to keep the Mueller report and the evidence that the Mueller investigation gathered front and centre. There was also something else that caught my eye. Cohen was Deputy Finance Chair of the Republican National, the RNC, and I'm wondering if Cohen has dirt on the GOP. Okay, so we're going to ask that. And then I want to go to Kirstjen Nielsen's firing. Well, it was a firing. We don't know, but it's likely it was a firing because Trump wants to A, deflect from Mueller report and other matters, B, look like he's tough to his base, and C, yes, I think he really does want to be crueler on his immigration policy. So he's going to bring in a tough-talking, most likely a man. So I want to have a look at that. Does Trump want to get, even more tough and cruel on asylum seekers and immigration policy? So let's start off with his tax returns. I always find this quite interesting because we know that he's trying to hide his tax returns. I think he doesn't have as much money as what he has embellished, exaggerated. And B, it could, I think potentially, my feeling is, or my impressions are, it could potentially link Trump or be evidence in relation to tax avoidance, but also potentially how he has received his money and money coming through real estate, etc. We're talking potentially money laundering here. So tax returns, IRS, he's installed someone there. IRS, tax returns, Trump. What's Trump trying to hide? I'm using my Lo Scarabeo Classic Deluxe Tarot, the ones with the little beetles on the back. What is Trump trying to hide? in not releasing his tax returns. What issues are in there? Evidence in there. Is it tax avoidance, money laundering? What is there? The hint of, the trail. Why doesn't Trump want his tax returns to become known? Okay, so I'm getting loans and debts here. I'm getting something around that. Okay, let's see. Okay, so there's something potentially, I'll bring the laptop down, but there's something potentially very, very strong in there. This is the, the chariot race. I feel that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to head off. He's trying to win a battle that's potentially got some quite strong evidence in there of that will incur more investigation. Ooh, it is quite strong evidence here because we've got his challenge. Okay. All right, something potentially very strong in his tax returns, but this is in the challenge position. He's challenged by the ending of his presidency. He's also challenged by what it could reveal in there, which could potentially lead to the ending of his presidency. Wow, two strong major arcanas coming out. Ooh, government here. Wow. Okay, I'm getting a picture here that what is in his tax returns. So we've got the signifier card of the chariot. We've got it's challenged by the death card. We've now got in the foundation of the reading the government here. This is the I'm thinking the IRS, but it's also the courts and it's also Congress. His tax returns, there's explosive stuff in there. That's what this reading is saying already. And that's why he's fighting so hard to hold them back. Now, by law, he has to release. Now, look, here we go. We've got this Four of Wands card coming up here. This can be the Democrats' victory in the midterms, giving them accountability. He was quite worried, afraid, I felt, straight after the midterms. He went into that week where he kind of just disappeared from the world stage and emerged with this sour, dour look. I do feel that that's in relation to that, but I also feel this is in relation to the Trump organization and to the family wealth as well. I do feel that there is something in his tax returns that is potentially damaging. Is he? Has he? Yeah. I think it is around tax avoidance. Loss. What's hanging over this is the Three of Swords. I did get drawn to this deck this morning because it's particularly penetrating. There's some kind of loss that he's worried about right now. Loss if the tax returns were made public. Secrets. The High Priestess. He's trying to hide something. This can sometimes come forward. In some decks, she's holding a scroll of information in this deck. This information's not public yet. In some decks, the High Priestess is depicted reading a book. She's only about a third of the way through it. Her Bible, her manifesto, her logbook, whatever. There's 2/3 of the information that is yet to be revealed. He is extremely worried about the revelation. Look at these major arcanas, the Chariot, the Death card, the Hierophant, the High Priestess. Extremely worried about his tax returns. He's even more worried about his tax returns in some way than the Mueller report, but I feel that there is a link there. It is a link in the train of the following the money here. This is the card I saw when I first started up this reading. It's around loans and debts. It's how he got his money. It's who he borrowed it from. It's potentially how money went through real estate, but it's also his debt levels. Giving and receiving money, loans and debts. There's not just a tax issue here. There's potential debt issues in relation that he sells himself as this fantastic businessman, but there's also an issue of how money came in and how money went out. So it's all of those things that potentially could lead to his downfall. He's quite worried, Trump the businessman, very, very worried about all of these issues I've just outlined. This is the Trump Foundation, Trump the businessman. Ooh, okay, so insecurity around money. This is trying to hold on to it, but also the fear of not having enough here. I do feel he's exaggerated, overblown his wealth. There could be some tax avoid. My impressions are, this is a tarot reading, there could be some tax avoidance here. Look, the outcome here is the duality here. There's two sides. There's the public side and there's the private side, and this card is actually the side, that the hidden side. The Knave of Pentacles brings forward money, news. So I'm feeling that he's trying to hide that news, but I'm feeling that the Congress is going to really keep going. This is the Queen of Swords here. This is Nancy Pelosi and her other team. The reason that I love this deck, I mean, look what's happening here. Congress is actually is actually really holding the head here of somebody. So they're going to get right down to it. But it's a battle. The Nine of Wands is a battle, a real battle. I do feel that Congress is going to actually get hold of his tax returns, but it might not be for it's going to be a battle for them because it's so explosive. Whatever he's really trying to hide that. So let's just have a look. Will they actually get his tax returns? As I said, it's indicating a huge battle over it. He's got a lot to hide. He's going to fight tooth and nail not to bring those forward. Okay, is Congress going to end up with a copy of the tax returns? Will Congress be able to get... Yeah, I'm just getting he's going to fight it. Will Congress be able to get... Well, he's going to fight it till the bitter end, so to speak. Because I'm getting like a... Yeah, it's going to go. It's going to go all the way. He's not going to give up on this one. He's not going to... It may be that they don't get his tax returns till he's after he's left office. It's that kind of scenario because he's just fighting it. But let's see what the cards say. Will the Congress be able to get hold of Trump's tax returns? Okay, so there's certainly the action there, the inspired action. They're going to fight. The King of Swords is the challenge here. Now that's interesting. So I do feel that this is the Trump's attorney, and it may be that they're going to Trump is going to use the law to fight Congress. Okay, the Three of Wands. There's overseas income sources here, loans and debts. This is what he doesn't want you to see. The Three of Wands is expansion and commerce, but it is with overseas foreign actors. So okay, I'm with it now. Okay, so again, another aspect, aside from everything that I've mentioned, it's going to show the loans and debts from foreign countries. And those then starts to create a whirlpool of activity around his conflicts of interest, who he's done deals with, whose agendas he's been implementing in the White House. The World card in the past, doing business across the world, clear cases of a conflict of interest. Trump's tax returns are explosive. His manipulation here, trying to manipulate to stop them coming out. It's going to go all the way to the courts, I feel. He's going to use the courts to try and stop that. There's going to be some kind of need. This is going to be a long, protracted battle. There's going to be some kind of need for the Democrats to reassess because there's some kind of disappointment here. I'm not saying they're never going to get them, but it's really going to take a lot of strong strong action here. There's a lot of demand to see, public demand as well, to see his tax returns. He really fears this. This is in the hopes and fears. Again, the dark money, the foreign money here. It's going to be, I feel, held up in the courts. This is the hangman. It's being stalled. That was my feeling. This could be Trump's relationship with Mnuchin, the Treasury Department, etc., the DOJ, his own Attorney General. They're going to try and stall it. But I do feel that eventually, again, we're coming back to the House in particular. I do feel that this is what we all know. We know that there's something potentially explosive in his tax returns. So I do feel that eventually, after strong action, protracted action, potentially in the courts, potentially Trump using everything at his disposal, I do feel that his tax returns will be made public, but it's going to take a lot to get them, to prise them open. He's going to fight. Okay, so let's have a look at Cohen. The number of major arcanas there is indicative of what he's trying to hide. My impressions are what he's trying to hide in his tax returns. Eventually they'll come out. Eventually they'll be able to get them, but not before, I think, lots of court cases. The RNC better have a lot of money because they are paying for some of Trump's bills here, legal bills. All right, the RNC. Has Cohen got dirt? He was Deputy Finance Chair of the RNC. Has Cohen got dirt on the GOP in relation to financial election donations? Cohen got dirt on the RNC, on the GOP, in relation to those 2016 campaign donations. Michael Cohen got dirt on the GOP in relation to election donations. We've got retreat here, which is an interesting card. Retreat after battle. Who's retreating? Painful endings, being challenged by painful endings, retreat. It could actually suggest that the RNC were in, quite a, I don't know, could be in that particular, they could be aware that there's some kind of danger here because we've got the retreat card, but we've also got painful endings. This could also be Cohen himself. Things coming forward quite quickly, suggesting that there's a lot to come forward, waiting for results in the past. This is Cohen hedging his bets, holding back certain information in order to leverage it in the future. The idea that the prizing open the truth coming out, drip, 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 that's always that card. But it's also quite a good card because it's actually showing that we're getting to the truth, however slowly. The King of Wands here. I feel that this is Trump here. This is also senior GOP leadership. Could be implicated here. It's not easy information to have got. It's taken, what, two years to get to. We've got the Eight of Chalices. I do feel this is loss here. I do feel that there's a heavy burden here on Cohen. I feel this is what's coming in through the reading here. Abundance, wish card. Money falling into someone's, pocket almost miraculously, like that's in the atmosphere around this situation. The hopes and fears, potentially income sources being exposed, but I just feel the heaviness of this reading for Cohen. The Emperor, Trump, the Emperor, the boss, the Emperor, senior GOP. Ooh. The Tower card. It's not an easy reading because I'm picking up the the layers around Cohen at the moment. And his energy, yeah, money news. Okay, all right. So this is what I think is happening in this reading. I'm picking up the heaviness of Cohen's situation here. I'm feeling that he has been mortally wounded, by what's happened to him. He's played his part in the Trump fiasco. He's turned over evidence to Mueller and also his explosive testimony. But it's really cost him. He's wounded after battle. And he's also wanting to avoid jail, which I feel is he's held back some information here. So I'm feeling his energies here in this reading. But I do feel he's got something to offer in relation to the RNC and those donations. He's really he's really just lost. He's lost a lot. This is the Eight of Cups. But I do feel he has some truth to offer in the Page of Cups. It's almost like he's drip feeding stuff out. Potentially, yeah, around senior leadership. This is the senior levels of the GOP. That's my impressions. It's, money coming miraculously forward. From whom is the question? Income sources, okay? How did they get their money? Through who, what sort of donations? It is tied to Trump here. Whatever affects Trump affects the rest of the GOP. Now, this worries me here because this can be for Cohen, but it can also be for the GOP. I'm just getting the two energies mixed up here, so it's hard to know whether this is for Cohen or whether this is for the GOP. The fact that it has it's mirroring aspected with the Emperor, which would be Trump, and then again around the Knave of Pentacles, which is around money news coming forward. I feel that in some way the GOP is implicated in this, or is impacted by what the evidence that Cohen's giving up. But it's not a clear-cut reading. It might be he doesn't have huge evidence to give on the GOP. What he does have, though, he might have something to bring forward around donations there, potentially from foreign countries. But what is clear in this reading here are two things. Cohen indeed has had a huge downfall, huge and painful downfall, huge loss. By his own hand, by his own actions, let's not forget that. What he does have, and this is what we shouldn't lose sight of, is potentially damning evidence on Trump. But unfortunately, it's likely to cost him severely, or is costing him severely. It's clear in this reading he wants to avoid jail. He does not want to go to jail. So, and who would? Who would? If he does go, I hope he's in, I hope they keep him secure, away from anyone that might want to do him harm. Trump, the Tower card, Cohen, tax returns. Wow, what a mess. What a mess. Let's go to Trump, the Trump deflection, Trump immigration policies. Horrendous. I am grateful that these readings keep you calm and that they allow you to potentially tap into your own intuition about what's happening, because when we feel, and this is important, when we feel that things are out of our control, we become disempowered. One of the ways to empower ourselves is through information, but we've got to be careful about the information that we source. We don't want to, it's like when you get sick, you get onto Dr. Google, and that can be disastrous. So you've actually got to get the right sort of information. So in a way, these readings are designed to shed light, on matters that otherwise may not receive focus, and also to stimulate your own intuition. If I am keeping anyone calm, if I am helping, then that is what again, another motivation. I always say that Russia didn't land troops in America. Didn't have to, because the attack came from within, and we will know the extent of that in the next years to come. We will learn the extent of that. I do feel, though, I've read on Vladimir Putin in another forum. I've also read here as well. I think I did that in my April World Leaders in April, or Energy in April, World Energy in April. I do feel Putin is battling at the moment, and I've still got that feeling. A week after I did that reading, I feel like he's battling in some way. Okay, let's have a look at Kirsten Nielsen. Never took to that woman. You expect a female to abhor cruelty to children, men. That's it cuts across genders, but when you see someone like her do that to little children, it was particularly abhorrent. Okay, does Trump want to get stronger on immigration? Asylum seekers, did he remove her, or did she actually resign? Maybe the pressure got too much for her. What do we need to know about Kirsten Nielsen's resignation? I'm getting there was a mutual decision here. He does want to bring in someone stronger, but I also feel that it was time for her to go too. You'll see a lot of people bailing or wanting to bail, those around or those that are close in his close orbit. Okay, what do we need to know about Kirsten Nielsen's resignation here? Was she pushed? Did she resign? Does Trump want to get tougher, even tougher? Yeah, of course he does. Strong arm. Strong arm when everything else is going to, down the gurgler. What does he do? He gets the strong arm. He wants a victory. He wants a victory on immigration. So yes to all of those things. It was it was a mutual decision. He wants to get tougher. She kind of had enough in a way. He wanted to fire her. He wants to, bring in someone else. It's a yes to all of those things. Giving and receiving help, loans and debts. With Trump, I don't want to indulge in conspiracy theories, but that card is suggesting loans and debts here. Loans and debts. To whom, for whom and why? That could be the taking away of aid. Okay. Taking away of aid from those South American countries. Trump wants a crisis at the border. This is all part of his plan. He wants that to get re-elected. Okay, this is all about an election issue here. He's going to bring in someone tougher. They're going to really ramp up all of that gaslighting. This is around a strategic plan. Okay, Miller's at the back of this. Bannon's at the back of this. This is that kind of thing. Okay, so this is around money. This is something money news. I feel that there are more factors at play here in this decision than what we know. This is around. I feel some of his big donor interests, not in their interest to have influxes of migrants, not in the GOP's interest to potentially, changing the face of America. Potentially those voters, maybe Democratic voters. This reeks. Sorry, it's about holding on to his power as well. I'm trying not to stray into the conspiracy theory here, but I do feel this is dirty. This is a dirty plan. What's hanging over all of this, the main thing for Trump, which absolutely illuminates him, puts him on the pedestal, turns him into a bumbling orator, a lying orator. He wants to show his strength. That's what's floating his boat. There's secrets here to be revealed. Okay. I feel that this is around some of the donations that got him elected, beyond just Russia. I'm thinking this is internally America. He was elected on a tough immigration platform for all of the reasons that I've just outlined in this reading. At the moment, he feels it's a win for him. This is celebrations. It's also celebrations around his inner elite, dark money, however you want to describe it. Celebrations. It's a new start for him, not only deflecting. It's sort of like when you start to tune into that energy, that moneyed, elitist, horrible, the way, taking away aid from South America, driving people to the border, separating children. When you start to tune into that, and Australia has this too. Australia has this kind of energy around immigration, asylum seeking as well. Our Prime Minister opened up a detention centre, $185 million, after a win from our opposition party and independents to try and get asylum seekers aid, medical aid, who are currently on the islands near Australia, as part of the policy not to let anyone land on our shores. Our Prime Minister then tried to whip up the frenzy by opening up, saying that this latest move to deliver them bring them to Australia for medical intervention would just encourage Australia to be swamped by immigrants. And he opened up one of our detention centres on Christmas Island at a cost of $185 million. And of course, it was just a publicity stunt. So it costs the taxpayers, the Australian taxpayers, $185 million so that our Prime Minister could hold a press conference on Christmas Island, because he turned around and closed it afterwards. After announcing it would be opened. So I wanted to mention that because there's a heaviness here around moneyed interests here in this reading. Okay, the hopes and the fears. Yep, it is around those the promises to the donors as well. It's all the same. It's all melded in together. It's all, who got Trump elected, who helped Trump get elected, why did they? It's all there. It's all there. It's sitting in his immigration policy. Battle weary here. There's also the deflection aspect, wanting to be strong, wanting to seduce his base. Interesting. The government, the courts. I feel that what he may do in the future will be challenged in the courts. Yep, to hold him accountable. Yeah, one more. Yeah. All of this, his whole immigration policy is going to continue to be challenged. Whatever move he's got next to flex his muscles, to show the strength, to deflect all of those issues, to pacify, to around his donors, it's going to be challenged in the courts. So is he going to have a win in the longer term or the medium term? In the short term, he feels like he's going to have a win. There are new starts here for whoever's going to come in. They're going to be tougher, but it's just going to wind up in the courts again. I'm going to have to finish that here. This has been a long and fruitful reading. These are my impressions of the situation via tarot card readings, but some interesting insights coming through there, an interesting take on a few of the matters that are occurring at the moment in the US. Thank you, viewers.